Hello, participants. Welcome back again. If you recall, in our last unit, we looked at the ICT integration strategic plan for TVET. And today we are going to look at Unit 6.1, which is analysis of cost of the integration of ICT in TVET. And by the end of this unit, we are supposed to develop the awareness of the cost effectiveness of the integration of ICT in TVET. So by way of question, is your organization aware of the cost effectiveness of ICT integration in TVET? So looking at the content flow chart, we're going to develop awareness of students' cost, the student support cost, teacher and trainer cost, technology and ICT cost, cost design cost, cost delivery cost, and the administrative cost involved in the integration of ICT in TVET. Now, information and communication technology are viewed by many policymakers at both national and institutional level as a potential cost-effective means of tackling the challenges of access, equity, and quality in education. Sound and rigorous financial planning is essential, therefore, for government and institutions to seeking to harness these methods. But unfortunately, there has been little analysis of the cost of such provision in TVET sector. With the growing ability to present simulations and modeling using ICTs, it is becoming increasingly possible to offer new forms of TVET at a distance. There may be misguided or ill-informed assumptions and claims about the cost savings of employing these technologies such that suggest that ODL is less expensive than traditional contact education. So to begin, achieving economies of scale can be a major challenge in integrating ICTs into it. Since the training demand in most developing countries is for a small number of graduates in a wide range of occupational profiles. Economic concerns can raise major barriers to offering ODL programs in TVET. This can be challenging in contexts where government funding for TVET is low. And this lack of funding limits the extent of training, the number of students who can be trained, and the quality of the training. With the recruitment of teachers, modernization of equipment, and the acquisition of training resources being especially affected. Some studies have attempted to establish relative cost of ICTs. And these studies looked at print, audio cassettes, and pre-recorded instructional TV lectures. And they have established that these are lower cost technologies for fewer than 250 students. The second one is radio. Radio requires 1,000 students or more to achieve comparable students per student costs. Also, computer conference is a low cost approach, and live interaction, broadcast, and video conferences are still very high cost technologies with unlimited numbers. Research on cost effectiveness of ICT-mediated teaching and learning is inconclusive. While some studies demonstrate that ICT integration can be cost-effective, others suggest that technology is not a cost-effective solution and that the implementation and maintenance costs will continue to climb. Any discussion relative to cost of ICT naturally raises the fear that information poverty will reinforce real poverty in poorer contexts. Now, Daniel views the effectiveness of education within a framework encapsulating three elements: element of access, quality, and cost. And he defined quality as fitness for purpose at minimum cost to society. Now, this framework is essentially useful in any consideration of accessibility. If you can only have high quality if you exclude many people from access to it. Daniel pointed out that evidence shows that technology can increase access, improve quality, and lower cost all at the same time. So we are now saying that you can only have high quality if you exclude many people from access. So, but Daniel pointed that evidence is there, which shows that technology can increase access, improve quality, and also lower the cost at all times. Research conducted by COT in 2002 identified three models in current use by the Vocational Education and Training System in Australia to achieve cost effectiveness outcomes in online delivery. Now, they reduce the cost while maintaining current level of effectiveness and volume. Improve learning effectiveness while maintaining current cost and volume. Increase volume while maintaining current level of cost and effectiveness. It appears that the investment in IT in universities is a highly politicized process, often based at level partly on an act of faith that IT will help deliver on the quality and productivity agenda. Such investment process and imperatives are not necessarily amenable to rationalistic cost-benefit investment models and techniques. In distant learning, the literature of costing typically concerns 7 main areas. Students' cost, which comprise of student cost, student support cost, teachers' cost, instructional technology cost, material design cost, course delivery cost, and administrative cost. So let us look at these 7 concerned main areas. Students. The cost that concerns students is such that in a face-to-face learning environment, students contribute towards their study costs, such as fees, textbooks, and other educational and training materials, including living expenses, accommodation, meals, travels, and possibly a loss of or reduction in income. In student support cost, the cost of providing support by any institution depends on the number of enrollment. If the enrollment increases, then the support cost increases. If the enrollment reduces, the support cost reduces, together with lecturer to tutor, tutor to students, and student to student ratios. Now, teacher and trainer cost concerns the budget for the cost of inducting and training teachers and supporting and mentoring staff in their uses of the new methods and resources. What does technology cost entail? This entails the initial purchase price of hardware and cabling, including periodic replacements of obsolete equipment, cost of software and related resources, cost of connectivity, and support maintenance and training costs. Cost design and courseware development costs can be high in ODL, particularly if they involve the use of expensive media and technologies. It's a fixed cost incurred by education providers, regardless of the number of students who study the course. Now, cost development costs for ICT have generally increased over time. An ICT-based multimedia material interactive learning system are significantly more expensive to develop than the traditional printed materials. Cost delivery cost depends on the choice of media, the level of program support, the level of trainers training, the levels and nature of technical support, and the recurrent cost for software licenses if proprietary software is being used. And finally, administrative cost usually involves those functions designed to support the development, delivery, and support services of an institution, particularly the human resources, financial, and student support and service systems. In conclusion, this unit developed an awareness of the cost effectiveness of the integration of ICTs in TVET. 7 areas of cost concerns, such as students' cost, student support cost, teacher cost, instructional technology cost, material design cost, cost delivery cost, and administrative cost, among other considerations were discussed. This unit has a great implication for budget development discussed in Unit 6.2. Transformative reflection. Focus on your assumptions that underline your belief, feelings, and actions regarding the cost effectiveness of IT-mediated education in TVET. Examine and assess the consequences of these assumptions on your beliefs, feelings, and actions in relation to the implementation of ICT-mediated education. Consider your learning experiences while completing this segment of instruction. Make a critical reflection regarding the content, the extent to which this instruction has helped you identify and explore alternative set of assumptions, or reinforced your initial assumptions regarding the cost effectiveness of ICT-mediated education in TVET. Hence, using your transformative reflection experience, prepare a toolkit to assist senior TVET administrators in their deliberation regarding the integration of ICT-mediated education in TVET, based on cost-effectiveness considerations. If your organization has already developed some guidelines regarding cost considerations for ICT-mediated teaching and learning in TVET, review and revise these guidelines as may be necessary. As a group of key stakeholders, ask a group of key stakeholders in TVET to review this toolkit for you. Thank you for listening, and try as much as possible to complete the assessment under this unit. Consult the forum, and see you in the next unit, which is Unit 6.2, Budgeting and Proposal Development for the Integration of ICTs in TVET.